Well, the Nariva swamp we consider to be a very important area, first of all, for the forestry division. We put it on par as the Kernahan swamp, and we consider it the largest freshwater swamp, and in fact the most diverse in terms of habitats. It's extremely important because of some of the species that you have there, like the manatee. It's one of the few places you can go and see both the capuchin and the red howler monkeys. It's the home for the anaconda. You know, those are probably the more unique species, but then there's everyday species, of course, that you can find. So all in all, we consider it to be such a treasure trove for wildlife. We therefore think it's quite an important wetland ecosystem for Trinidad.
What caused problems down the road in terms of the contested nature of the use of the resources was that when larger and larger farmers began to come in, the rice issue was only within the late 80s into 93, 94, 95.
At the same time, as we were getting involved in that project, the Nariva issue came into the public limelight as women environmentalists were challenging the government in relation to the use of rice farmers, etc., of the swamp. So we felt that this would be a good opportunity for us to get in there to study a contested wetland, and we could use that as a mechanism to introduce gender analysis.
PRA methods, participatory research approaches to gaining information or gathering data, is one which involves the community and the people who are involved in the area. It can take several different methodologies. One is ethnographic, that is the researchers go into the community, they live among the people there, they observe them, they look on and they take notes. And really you need a fairly long time to establish a relationship when you get in and to build the trust during that approach. It also can incorporate focus group discussions, getting members of the community together on a particular issue to bring forward what they know about the community, what they're doing, and documenting this in a sometimes very pictorial fashion in the form of charts and pictures and so on. So the community are actively involved in gathering the data. This makes them aware of the environment.
Part of my work was to look at the history of development of the community as well as the resource use over time. And in order to do that, I asked them to draw me maps of what Kernahan and Cascadoux looked like 50 years ago when they first came in and what it looks like to now, as well as how the men and women perceived the changes and how those changes affected their lives over time. If you could just go through the map and tell me if it is in line with what you saw when you first came to Kernahan and Cascadoux. Now what the others told me is that they came through Cascadoux Trace here, which at the time was a dirt road. That's correct?
Yeah, well, at the earliest times, it was a track through the bush. Right?
So before dirt road, it was just a small track?
Yeah, track through the bush.
Okay.
And develop after from year to year. We started cut the bush make place, when I had animal now, I make place to run up animal.
So gradually they cut down the forest.
Yeah, well, we get clear up the forest. But after it had a storm pass before, what they call Alma. I tell you about that?
Yes, 1974.
Yeah, Alma passed and pushed down most of the forest because in front here, where you see it don't have much trees and things. The Alma passed rapid, passed straight across here. So.
Have a whole change in the ecosystem happening. You have loss of species, you have animals being pushed out of their habitats, they were pushed further into the forests as women and children started to move in as well. So as family units came in, over time, the swamp environment itself changed because of utilization. And in many instances, we tend to develop plans for an area without getting to know what that community wants and what are the different needs for that community.
My role specifically was to become a member of the team that was coming in here for a period of 5 months to look at local level governance issues. By local level governance issues, we're talking specifically looking at how does the social, political, and economic conditions within the community interact on decision-making process in the community. Roger and Kelly and they were telling me you were one of the past presidents in the village council here. So I was wondering if you could tell me, enlighten me a little bit on the village council and how you were involved in it.
Okay, in the village council, in this time was one Mr. Benjamin Joseph. He the founder of the village council and it was registered under Cascadoux, right? But
okay, so it wasn't originally Kernahan and Cascadoux village council.
Cascadoux village council. Okay. Under Mr. Benjamin Joseph, and well, he get a little ill, and he said the only person that he could foresee to carry on the village council in the area after him is me, and I was unanimously voted to be the president at the village council in Cascadoux.
How long ago was that? How long did
That is approximately about 10 years back.
What were some of the findings of the research?
There were distinctions between different social groups. Key persons of influence were identified. Their roles and their ability to influence community decisions. We tried to understand how that system works. Women at the household level and their roles are clearly limited. It's limited to children, tending to livestock, to basic household chores, and some activities related to gardening. Their role outside of the household, what we found, however, that it's severely limited.
Nicola Cross and myself were looking at things like the social aspects of people's lives, the economic aspects of people's lives, household relations, conflicts in the villages and conflicts in households. And so what we were really looking at is how the community related to each other and how people in households, men, women, boys and girls, all related to each other. We went around with people, we hung out with them, we laughed with them, we talked with them, we did what they did, we went in their gardens, we sat under the house, we limed on the corner with the young boys, we hung out underneath the house with the young girls, we chatted with people about their daily lives. When you go in the garden, how do you dress?
Well, simple. Put a pants underneath the dress because of the mosquitoes and sandflies and things. Put a hat and a long sleeve shirt.
But how come you don't wear just pants and no dress?
Well, not on several occasions I wear pants.
Alone?
Alone.
Okay.
Yeah, wear a t-shirt or something. Otherwise, to the garden, well, we wear the underpants.
I've never seen you in pants.
Yes, regular.
Alone.
I love wearing pants. That is one of my wear. I love that.
Okay, so say you come back at 10 o'clock, then what?
Right. Well, then we come, we relax home a little bit, and then we look after what we have to cook or something because the children goes to school, have to prepare lunch.
You all cook together? Or how?
No,
we'll relax?
no, he will relax, go and put on television, a video. As well, now we have video and thing, he will put on his cassette and go and sit down and look at it, and I will cook.
We didn't ever use a tape recorder. We would just listen, give them our full attention, put them at ease by having a conversation, and then when we left them, we would sit immediately, and together Nicola and I would just try and remember everything and take down notes. And then age, gender, class, farming, fishing, your family networks, if you have access to them, all make a difference in the quality of life.
Really looked at people's lives and how women's lives were different from men's and how boys' lives were different from girls. So we looked at how households operated, what chores basically people had, how people felt about things. That was a big part of the project. How did people see other people's lives? Sometimes people must get vexed with each other for some silly little something, as happens everywhere in the world. What kind of things do you all get vexed about?
Like little stupidness. You put this there, you put that there, and you forget what you do with it. Like those little things there. But I doesn't take it on. I just keep on doing my works. You mustn't get vexed. Yeah, because if you get vexed, when I get vexed, you will get angry and want to quarrel and want to fight. And when you two all quarrel and arguing, it's a fight. So one has to stay quiet. So I just leave it up.
When we first came in here, we thought, oh gosh, everybody's poor. And then after being here, we realized that no, that wasn't true. It's just that they were spending money on different things. We then had to try and say, well, okay, why do we think this? And we tried different means of actually trying to verify this. Then we started talking to people about how much they earned, and that was very difficult because people didn't want to talk about that. What were some of the interesting things we did find out had to do with the gendered ways in which men and women use the environment. We found that the space was gendered. We found, for example, that the forest was a very male space and that it was not easy for women to enter into that space. Certain tasks that were used in day-to-day livelihood as well as in subsistence were also gendered. We also found that in terms of the knowledge of the species and the natural resources around, that women's knowledge of the environment tended to be much less than men's.
I was amazed after a few months of the researchers being in there at the level of articulators among some of the young people, the way in which they articulated, were able to speak out. I think that has come out very clearly. Their knowledge, they were able to talk about certain species and certain things in bush, which I'm sure they were not really comfortable with or aware of before.
What did you feel you learned while we were here, or what did you feel about our time here at Freetown?
Actually, I learned a lot. Things about I didn't even know about.
The modern things in our own community that we didn't even know about.
Like what?
Medicinal plants that other people knew in the community, but we were in the community, we didn't know about it.
Learn a lot about from you all about saving our community by not destroying it, and also our wildlife and the forests and things like that.
So far, I think the community need more training because it seems like the people do not understand what is livelihood then. Okay, when our children get older like us, them won't even know what is Cascadoux, what is accounts, what is forest, what is a goatee, lap, maybe, you know, wildlife then.
Y'all ever found that we were too much in you all's lives? Or you thought the advice was good? Did you take our advice? Did you not? Maybe we could talk about that.
No, it was not medal, but I didn't take your advice. So ask Jennifer. Did you take your advice?
Yes, it was a very good advice to know. Well, you all came inside here and tell us hey, what, you know, well, don't go and look for boyfriend yet, though, maybe whatever. Just, you know, work amongst your community yet, and, you know, teach the younger ones things like what you know, whatever. And it seems like, you know, you all was like sisters with us since I was inside here, and we were so pleased then.
Having collected the data, we now need to share that data in a very analytical way to explain to the community what this means, what this data means. When they know this, when any plan is put into place, any policy issue is taken, they understand this and they're able to follow through on it. 2 years ago we left here and we did a lot of work writing up all of the information we got over the 9 months that Nicola, Gabrielle, Shada, Rishi spent with you and among you. We're hoping to share what we experienced here through the writings with you.
We appreciate, having the members of the universities, the Western Days, and the other players here today. We want to say a special thanks to them. It has been over 2 years that they were here in this community doing their research. Basically, I was thinking that is gender studies. But today I learned, there's more than gender study in this community that was taking place.
I hope that if anybody does look at the books, they'll be able to tell us what they like and what they don't like.
I think that it was a bit too personal, that to get the people's life heard out in the public like that, I find it was very scary.
I believe always should have started and make a better book than that. If you really need to make a book inside, you could come and ask the people and, go about people who carry about and tell you about good things, but not bad things.
Everybody have the right to express themselves, but when you document it, then you have it there. I don't think people want to see that as a legacy. But to say, is it truth? Is it truth what you were saying? But we have to see it as a challenge.
We're hoping that this research will bring to the forefront the social, economic aspects of the community and the people, and importantly, the gender aspects of the community.
We will never really know if we made a difference. Every group of researchers only ever gets to know some people in a village very well, not everyone.
It's been 2 years now, and it's nice that this video is being done, but I am worried and concerned that as a lot of the other information that has been researched in this area, it will remain on a shelf and it won't actually be used by the communities for change.
They benefited from us creating an awareness of different things, of the use of the swamp, of the importance of the swamp, and the benefits to having sustainable agricultural practices. But I think within the younger members of the population, we have created some awareness, and they, in some small way, will implement what they've learned.
I don't want anybody to get the idea that we knew what we were beginning with. It was very experimental. We were trying to develop a methodology that others could use and that we could learn from. So it was very much a learning experience. We felt, for example, that gender analysis could allow us to look at the people who lived in the swamp and their differential experience, both socially, culturally, and also in relation to the environment.